What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Junior's World of Soul. I am back with the new video. This is part 2 of my top 7 R&B albums of this year. Now, as you can see, I came in with India Arie's #1 song, Steady Love, off her album Worthy, which was another dope album that you guys should definitely check out. But again, this is all about my top 7 R&B albums of this year. You know what I'm saying? So let's just get this started, because again, I just don't want to keep you guys too long. But hey, so we are starting with number 4, coming from the girl from the Netherlands. I am talking about Nicole Buzz. Now, Nicole Buzz made a splash, you know what I'm saying? And she's really one of my favorites that came out in 2019. Well, she really came out in 2018, and it kind of like at the end, and she made like a big like splash, because I just remember my brother sending me a text like, bro, this girl Nicole Buzz is coming out. She got this single that she's using the Caramel sample, which Wu-Tang uses for Cream, and I heard it, and he saw it on, I think, WBLS's Instagram, and he sent it to me, and when I heard it, I was like, yo, this joint is dope, like, for real, like, who is this girl? So, you know, for me, I got hooked on her, and then after the song went #1, I was so happy for her, you know what I mean, and I was like, yes, because I'm telling you, like, she made a splash, because everybody was like, yo, this is something different, than what everybody is doing, you know, everybody was on that trap, soul type of vibe, and she was bringing something really, you know, how can I say, she was bringing something nostalgia, but at the end of the day, it still felt fresh. It was something different, and it felt good, and it felt organic. It felt so New York, you know what I'm saying? And I was so hyped for her to really go, you know, #1. So it was like, okay, so this song went #1, then she brought out the remix where she put Raekwon and Ghostface and all that on there. Then it was like, all right, it's time for the next single. You know what I mean? And she came out with the next single, Mr. Big Shot, which went to #1, and this joint was my joint, because I played this joint too. So, hey. Hey, Mr. Big Shot. Hey, like this joint is so New York. Like, it's got that vibe, you know what I mean? And I know y'all like, dang, you had to pick up your red cup. I know, y'all, I need it. I need a little something, you know what I mean? But, you know, I talked about this joint in July. She came out with this song because she came out with You in like December of 2008. And then she finally, you know, after it hit, it was getting played all over the place. You know what I'm saying? She was getting that exposure, which was great. And then she released Mr. Big Shot in July, which I love. You know what I mean? And all I gotta say, my con about this whole album, her album, Kairos, is the fact that it came out so late. You know what I mean? I felt like her album really, after You really kind of exploded, I felt like her album should have came out in like the summer. Like maybe, you know, maybe July or August. When she released Mr. Big Shot, she should have had the album coming right then and there. It's like, yo, we had to wait all the way to October to get the album. And it was like, that was my only con with this album, and that really kind of bugged me out, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Kairos is a dope album, y'all. Like, it's really dope. Like I said, it's nostalgic, but it's fresh, you know what I mean? And I felt like, you know, Nicole and Needles is the executive producer of the album. They got together, in my opinion, they created magic. You know what I mean? They created great magic. You know what I mean? Like, it's so dope. It feels like a New York album. What I always say about this album, it reminds me kind of what Mary did with What's the 411. It was just so different. It was a different vibe. You know what I mean? And this is kind of what I'm getting from Nicole Buzz. And I wish Rock Nation would really push it. But it seems like Rock Nation, when it comes to pushing people, because my big bros, Tone, with Enter the Dome website, I'll put that in more info box. and my bro Vegas, who's does the Hip Hop Now podcast, and they get together and they do a podcast, That Time in Hip Hop, which is, I feel like, my favorite hip hop podcast out there, because they talk about the nostalgia and they also talk about, you know, the new stuff that you should listen to that's in hip hop. You know what I mean? They kind of, you know, build the bridge between the young and old with it. You know what I mean? But they definitely want to give you the facts about the history of hip hop. And they were talking about Roc Nation, how they feel like Roc Nation didn't push Rhapsody, and she's a dope artist. And I said I felt like that about Nicole Butts. I feel like if Jay and Orlin would have really put, because Nicole Butts is on their management, if they would have really put, you know, a lot behind her, I think a lot of people would have really noticed her. You know what I mean? That's what I feel. I feel like she's not getting that push that she should, because I feel like she has a dope album. You know what I mean? And as you can hear in the background, this joint is called Unchanging, which was one of my favorite joints of the year. And this album came out in October, but it became my favorite of the year because if y'all can hear it, she's using that Bobby Bird, I Know I Got Soul sample, and she's using Natalie Cole's sample. Can't think of it at the top of the head. I did this in the last video, but those are the two samples that she's using, and it feels so good. It feels so, you know, nostalgic. It feels so good. It make you move. Holding on to your unchanging hand. Woo! That joint just feel good, like it make you move. So let's kind of go down the tracks that I really, really enjoy about the album. Love It. I feel like that song to me is a joint that really showcases Nicole's voice, because it's just a piano, and I think it's like a little piano that comes in, but it's just her voice, and I feel like she's really shining on that record, you know what I'm saying, vocally, you know what I'm saying, because I feel like the production and her voice is really great, but I feel like the production of this album really, really shines, and that's not taking anything away from Nicole, because she's dope, but the production is really what brings this album out, you know what I mean. So a song like Love It is a song that definitely showcases her vocals, you know what I mean. The next joint, I think this is kind of like the favorite on the album. I think that everybody really talked about when the album first came out, and it's Rain. And it kind of, you know, I think everybody kind of went right to this song because it's a dope record, you know what I'm saying? It definitely makes you move, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of, hey. Like the hands of flower, yeah, so I think everybody went to that. And if you are, yeah, I know I had to hold my drink. I'm sorry. I love when I get a nice little groove. I gotta grab a red cup. But if you know about this song, this is Al Green's "I'm Glad You're Mine" or "I'm Still in Love with You" album. If anybody knows about that Al Green "I'm Still in Love with You" album, so many people have used that album and used a lot of songs for the samples. You know what I'm saying? So for Needles to go back and find that sample, and it still gives it that street credibility. And then what Nicole was doing on it, she just riding that beat. Ooh, 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 ooh. You know what I'm saying? It make you feel so. It just feels so good. You know what I mean? So that joint is kind of, I think, is a favorite for everybody when you talk about the Kairos album. The next joint, to me, it sounds so New York. It gives me the feeling of going back home and getting on the train. Like, listen.
Somebody call your name. You've been running through my mind every morning, every night.
Hey, with you. Hey,
I've been all around the world. Boy, I'm not your average girl. No one else can ever love but you.
Hey, like this. Okay, I get a little snap. Like, hey. Like, that joint just just makes me feel like going back home and like I'm on the A train going home and going into the city and getting ready to party, you know what I'm saying? Going to a party, hanging out with my friends in the city, you know what I mean? And it makes you feel like that. Like it's a feel-good record, you know what I mean? And it's so New York, and it really, really feels like that. This is another reason why a song like this, why I felt like the album should have came out in the summer. Like it would have made so much sense, yo. That's what, again, that's my only con with this album, that the album did not come out when during the summer, because I think this, you would have had so many singles to choose from, you know what I mean? And I feel like now it's like, what do you do? Because it's cold. Don't get me wrong, you can still jam, but the type of songs she got on this album, you can kind of roll down the windows and just like blast the joint. You can't do that now because it's cold, you know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there, because my father still did it when the low, oh, he will kill me if I say Low in Theory. When Midnight Marauders came out, and that album came out, and he brought it at the record store, and it was November, and it was cold as heck, but he still rolled down the windows and blasted. So hey, that's neither here nor there. But the last song on the album is definitely a favorite of mine, and that's Look Into the Sky. And to me, that song is so soulful. I feel like even the hip hoppers will connect to it, you know. At the end of the day, it's just so damn soulful, y'all. Like, it sounds so good. And of course it would be, because they're using an unreleased sample from Isaac Hayes. And shout out to Isaac Hayes' son. He is like keeping his, you know, father's legacy alive. He talks a lot about his father. He knows a lot about this industry. I'm gonna put all his info in the more info box. Definitely follow him on Twitter and all that. So, you know what's so crazy? Me and my brother was talking back and forth, and we felt like for the Shaft soundtrack, he, you know, Isaac Hayes should have been on there. Like, when you talk about Shaft, you can't help not to talk about Isaac Hayes. So for Isaac Hayes not to be on there, and they didn't even go to Isaac Hayes' son, and they could have got a song like this on the soundtrack, and they didn't. So he gave it to Nicole Buzz, and like this song, y'all, is so chill, it's so smooth, it takes you somewhere, and that's why it's my favorite joint. And this joint is entitled Look Up to the Sky. And let me tell y'all, I know y'all hear it in the background, but it sounds so damn good, and I gotta give y'all a good sample of it. So it goes a little something like this. Here we go.
Get the victory of praise, singing la 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 la. Look up to the sky. La 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 la. Look up to the sky. Let the song in your heart sing and light up your bed. Look up to the sky. La 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 la.
Don't it sound so good, y'all? Don't it sound so good? Like, it's so smooth and it's so soulful. And I'm a soul head. And come on, it's from Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes was a soulful dude. And for his son to give them a sample like this, and Needles and Nicole body it like this, like, I know Isaac Hayes gotta be looking down like, yo, they really bodied my joint, and this joint was unreleased. I don't know what the song was called, but I think, you know, for me, I would love Isaac Hayes' son to put this single, to put the real song out, the original unreleased song, so we can hear it, because I would love to hear what it really sounds like. And to me, Isaac Hayes' production is one of the best. You know what I mean? And again, I feel like Nicole and Needles did this right. This whole album, y'all, Kairos, I recommend it. If you love soul music, if you love hip hop, if you love, you know what I'm saying, if you just love that nostalgia of 90s music and just a good body of work, I recommend y'all check out Nicole Butz's album, Kairos, and that's why it's number 4 on my countdown. All right, man. All righty. So we are at number 3. Hey. All right. Woo. My boys, I am talking about, I can say I'm a part of the Weirdo family. I am talking about Louis York with the American Griots album, which is number 3. This album came out actually the same day as Nicole Butts, and I tell y'all, I listen to this album every day, and that's why it's really at the top of my list. You know what I'm saying? The top 3. Now, if you don't know Louis York, it's Chuck Homney and Chloe Kelly, who wrote for everybody. They really wrote for everybody. I'm sorry, the chorus coming in. Don't you forget to remember me. Don't let it slip from your memories. Don't you forget to remember forever. Oh, remember that summer days get rough. Don't you forget to remember forever. I'm sorry, the chorus came in. I had to vibe to it, but it's Chloe Kelly and Chuck Homney, who has written for everybody, and I mean literally everybody. And they got together, and everybody was telling them, like, y'all make great music together. And one thing about Chloe, this dude sings. He sings his face off. He's from New York, and Chuck Homney is from St. Louis, so they put that together, and that's how you got Louis York. I've been a fan of these dudes since 2015, since the Masterpiece Theater Act 1. Like, I've been a fan of these dudes, you know what I'm saying? Because I love the sound, you know, that they were. And they've done 3 EPs, and I've been waiting for this album. Like, I really have. So when they came out with the first single, which was, oh God, shoot, what is it? Oh, let me think, wait a minute, give me a second, y'all, maybe a sip will help me. It did help me. Regrets. When they came out with that and said, we got an album coming, I was so hyped. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I've been a fan of them since 2015. You know what I'm saying? So when they finally came out with the album, my brother Sin listened to it. He was like, bro, I love this album from the break. I said, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's early Friday morning. I'm like, okay, cool. I ain't got to work. I'm good. So I listened to the album. And y'all, it didn't get me at first. I was like, bro, I can't get into it. Like, it feels like something was missing. I was like, what's going on? This is the one time my brother Sin got me together, y'all, like, for real. He was like, look, you need to really sit down and listen to this album, because I don't know what you doing, because this album is dope, and I'm surprised at you, because you the type that would love an album like this. And I'm like, but I'm not getting it, I don't understand. So I said, okay, cool. So I put it to the side, and I came back to it on Sunday, the Lord's Day. And let me tell you something, obviously it was too early Friday morning, something, because Sunday when I played it, I fell in love with this album. I love everything about it. Like I said, for one thing, Chloe Kelly be singing. Do you hear me? Like, he be singing on this. So now, like I said, since then I have been listening to this album every day. Every day. So we can start this off with All in My Feelings, which is so crazy because I'm an emotional listener, and I do not understand how I did not like All in My Feelings. And when I heard it, I felt like it was something missing. I was just like, I'm not getting it. Like, what the heck is going on? But then when I listened to it, and let me tell you something, and like I've been saying, and I'm gonna say a couple of times, Chloe Kelly is a singer. That dude sings his face off. And All in My Feelings, he absolutely did it. And I'm gonna give y'all the part where he goes off. So listen. How did I not get that, y'all, off the first joint? Like, now y'all see me rocking to it. Like, I love it. I love this joint, man. I get hyped because I'm so excited to talk about this album. Then again, the No Regrets was the first single, and that's with my girls, the Shandellas, who I cannot wait for them to come out with their EP coming out. When y'all see this, it's already gonna be out. So it's out, and I just cannot wait to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I want these girls to win because I talked about them in my top 7 my top 7 R&B songs of the year, and they was a part of that. And I just want these girls to win, and I feel like they're the In Vogue, and I feel like Chuck Harmony and Corey Kelly is like the Denzel Foster and Thomas McElroy of these girls, and I really want them to win, and I really want y'all to check them out. So I'm gonna put their stuff in the more info box too. But Electric Blue. Now let's get to that song. That song gives you like an 80s vibe with like a feeling of country in it. You know what I mean? And I really like it. And definitely gonna give y'all a sample of that. So here we go. Just feel the record. Here we go.
Can't describe it when I'm with you.
Hey,
All I see is electric blue. Can't describe it when I'm with you. Woo! All I see is electric blue.
see, I can sing the joint, and it got like a country undertone, but it still has that 80s R&B feeling, like what was going on like with Kashif a little bit, and what was coming into maybe like the early 80s, that new wave with, you know, Kashif's production too. Like I just think that it's like how does my grandma say, a mish. She's country, y'all, so she says mesh, but she says mish of things. You know what I'm saying? And it just gives me that with this record, and it's a good record. Now, one of the ones that I do like, and I really liked, and I talked about it on Current R&B Bangers, is their song Glow. And I feel like that song, I feel like it's so catchy, and I feel like with this generation you need something catchy, and that's what I liked about, you know, this American Griots album, is the fact that I feel like, you know, Louis York, they really can connect to this young generation, because this young generation needs a hook that can get you. And Glow, that hook is very, you can get, like, it's so catchy. So here we go. Just play it for y'all. Here we go.
I can't get right, but it's okay. We got all night. Feels like a brand new heart.
Cause baby, you got that glow. You got that glow. Ha!
Got that glow.
See, it's catchy. It makes you want to sing it. Got a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can hear this on, really, I can hear this on mainstream radio. Now, if somebody like Adele would have did this, or somebody like a Justin Timberlake or Sam Smith would do it, oh, it'll be all over, and they'd be like, oh, they're changing R&B. But when we have somebody like Louis York that does it, let's see if this song will get played on mainstream radio. Yeah, I said it. I sure did. I wanted to get that out. I wanted to put it somewhere in this video, but I found a way to do it. You know what I mean? Because this song is it feels very commercial, and this song can really be played on stations like 90, let's see, the stations in New York that I know is 103.5, WKTU, Z100. They can play this song. Let Louis Harmony get their crossover, and let them get their money so they can get a bigger audience. How about that? Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. I just had to go into that. But like I said, it's a feel-good song. Makes you want to sing along. It's a catchy hook, and I feel like it could be a hit. So I talked about it on Current R&B Bangers, and yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all see I had to go off for a second. I just don't like how they do that. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. Now, this song here is an emotional song. You feel the emotion. It's very vulnerable, and this is what I love about it. Again, Claude Kelly can sing his face off, and he does it. They got a video out for it now. It's called How Will I Feel, and he does it live. He did it at the iHeartRadio thing, and it was just him and Chuck just playing the piano, and he sounded beautiful. That dude is a singer. That's why I see why Pink likes working with him, and Kelly Clarkson and Whitney and all this, because he can sing. That's a vocalist right there, real talk. But this song is so beautiful, y'all, and it's the current single right now, and again, it's called How Will I Feel, and just listen.
How will I feel in the morning? Tell me if I don't go.
If I don't go.
How will I feel in the morning? Tell me if I don't go.
If I don't go. This is one of the songs I feel like that really touches your soul, man. It really, really does. And what they did for the video, it really complements the song, and it's just beautiful, and like it sends chills. Like me watching the video, it really sent chills for me, and I think it's a great song. Last song I'm gonna talk about on the album, and I'm gonna give y'all something before, is Velvet. I feel like Velvet should definitely be a single, especially now we're in the winter, and I feel like Velvet will definitely be a great song. You know what I'm saying? It's sexy, it has that vibe, you know what I mean? And it's a really good song, and it still has that 80s vibe to me, but there's something about it that's just current. But again, I feel like it can really, right now, in the season that we're in right now, I feel like Velvet could really explode. But right now, How Will I Feel is like, everybody's loving it right now. So maybe in like January, February, they can come out with the single, hopefully. So here is Velvet, and just listen to it. It's just so sexy, man. Listen.
So fucking pretty, yeah. And all I'm thinking is the touch of your skin. Feel like velvet. Oh, I'm caving in. Don't mean to sin, just can't help it.
I wanna know how it feels. I wanna know how it feels. I wanna know how it feels. Does it feel like velvet? See, it's like you can hear the auto-tune, because you know Core don't need no auto-tune, but this generation like the little auto-tune in it. He put a little auto-tune in that, you know what I'm saying? And he's still singing. It's still a real sexy song, you know what I'm saying? It has that like a little bit of a Prince vibe to it, you know what I'm saying? A little Michael, a little bit, get a little groove in it like that. Y'all see, I can't help but not to move with it. That's how dope it is. But yo, this album is dope. The last song, I'm not gonna give y'all a sample of it, but it's entitled Love Takeover, and the Shandellas is a part of this, and is it Ebony Williams, if I'm not mistaken? Ebony Williams, she's talking in it, but the Shandellas is singing, and my girls do their thing on it. It's just a beautiful record. We need love right now, especially what's going on in our world right now. We need it. But y'all, this album, American Griots, definitely one of my favorite albums of the year. This album is so dope. Like, I love the weirdo thing that they're doing. I consider myself weird, because I'm consider myself, when it comes to music, weird. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some stuff that I like. Even my brother look at me be like, you like that? I'm like, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But when I see interviews with Louis York, they said, you know, there's different sounds of music they like. And yeah, they might dress weird and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's all common good for everybody to just enjoy the music. And he said, you know, this is what Corey said, a lot of people are like, he feels like we don't got the love in the music no more. It's not the realness, the rawness in it anymore. And this album, you get a lot of that. You know what I mean? Like, I recommend you guys really, really check out American Griots. It's a great album. Like, for real. Like, tell your mama, your brother, your sister, all that, really. Because I really want these guys to really win because they did a great album. And I don't want it to be pushed to the side because nobody ain't talking about it. So please, y'all, as my number 3 album, it is definitely coming from Louis York and their American Griots album. Well, y'all, I have kept y'all almost 30 minutes, but I wanted to give y'all my 2 albums. So coming in at number 4 was Nicole Buss with her Kairos album, and coming in at number 3 is Louis York with American Griots. And I'm gonna be back with the final part, which will be part 3, where you will get number 2 and my favorite album of 2019. And since it's Christmas, I felt like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go out with a Christmas song. It's one of my favorite Christmas songs. It's actually off of my favorite Christmas album of all time. I'm talking about the Jackson 5 Christmas. And this song right here is beautiful. I mean, so many people remade it, but I feel like the only one that can really do it and sing it is Michael with his brothers on the background. So here we go, and we gonna go out, and I will see y'all next.
To show the things that words can say, why don't you love Christmas Day? Oh, the man on the street and the couple upstairs, all need to know is someone who cares. Give love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there than love.
I'm out, y'all. Peace.